something specifically I don't like about liberals, and don't like take me wrong, some communists do this too, but they don't take like the working class man's struggles like for real, or they don't like say it's a real thing. If you maybe it's really hard to understand me right now, but like if I give you an example, maybe you will agree. If you take, for example, the MAGA movement in the United States, or you take Reform in the UK, or the AFD in Germany, you all the time see that some liberals always say stuff like, oh, you're dumb, you don't have a clue what's going on, why did you vote for him, and all this stuff. But they don't understand, or I don't know if they don't want to understand, or they just don't want to talk to the working class man. But Trump or Alice Weidel in Germany, for example, is speaking to real like material problems that these people have. Like, of course you can say, okay, that the immigrant is just stabbing people left and right all the time. It's just to make like, it's just making people scared of things and all that stuff, and to support their party, of course. But if like the party leader of the AFD in Germany says, oh, rent is too high, it's because of the immigrant, blah, blah, blah. Of course, that is not true. We all know that. If you're well educated, you know that. We can talk about expats and stuff, but like that's other thing. But like asylum seekers, they say it's because of that. Of course, that is not true. But the fact that rent is too high is a problem. Like, that's a real problem. And liberals talk then to people who voted for far-right movements and stuff, and say, oh, why did you vote for that? That's so dumb. It's not the immigrant. But they don't talk to them about how what the real solution is. Of course, liberals support capitalism, so they can't really say what the real solution is in that case. But they could argue that they could understand maybe these working class people who voted for the far-right movement did have material problems, and they only saw a solution in the far-right populist movement. They didn't understand, of course, they didn't understand, okay, it's not because of that, of the asylum seekers, it's because of global capitalism, a whole lot of other problems. But that the liberals can't understand that you have to talk to the real material problems of the working class, and not just say, oh, it's not the asylum seeker. Of course, it's not the asylum seeker who is doing the problems. That is like the ground setting. Like, that is rock bottom, what we are talking about. That is clear in most of the cases. But like, that they can't talk about material problems right now of the working class people is so insane. And everybody who just voted for a far-right movement is in their sense just dumb, when they're not dumb. They have problems, and liberals can solve the problem. They can't solve it. They still support capitalism, and they only see the working class man who votes far-right only sees their real solution in that far-right movement, because liberals don't speak really to their problems. And if they do, they can't solve it, because they still support capitalism. Of course, they still support Zionism, all that stuff. So the working class man only sees that solution, and I don't blame him. Like, of course, it's wrong to blame the asylum seeker, but he is searching, or she, I don't give a fuck, that person is searching for a real solution for their problem. And the solution they have to understand is overcoming capitalism, but that's a whole other thing. Like,